Affinity Xtra, be extra.
Gentlemen, welcome to The Drive. I am your host for this show. I go by the name of Jermaine, aka Blue. Welcome to my first podcast show on Affinity. Yeah, play the beat a bit more, man. I do apologize if I've just broken the space in your car. Now you know how I feel. Only joking. Yes, so welcome to The Drive Show with me, Jermaine, on Affinity. Just a bit about myself, first of all. So my name is Jermaine. I am the owner, what can you say, or the person who started Abrava, and I did that with my wife, Samantha. And basically, if you've heard me before talk, Abrava is about relationships and supporting people. And the beauty about this show is we're going to be talking all sorts of things of relationships from a holistic point of view. So we're going to be covering so many things on this show. We're going to be talking about marriages, best tips on relationships. We're going to be talking about men. And we're going to go really in depth on men's situations as well. So we're going to be talking stuff about mental health. We're going to be talking about finances. We're going to be talking about sex, the taboo conversation. We're going to be talking about everything, but we're going to definitely chop it up, discuss it, and go through it all over again. So we are going to segment some of the stuff as well. So some of the stuff for men are just going to be a panel of men where we're going to be open and discussing stuff that are important, things that we probably sometimes don't talk about enough. We're going to go really in depth and stuff. We're also going to be talking on some lady situations as well. And some of those conversations, I will be sitting way at the back. That's right, I'll be taking a seat in the back because that's not a conversation for me. But we're going to use the platform for that to support the ladies on there. And obviously, sometimes I'm going to be on there too. And we're also going to be talking about singles as well. Okay, so when it talks about relationships, a lot of people who are not in a relationship tend to switch off. So we're going to be talking on things on singleness as well. So if you're a single person and you're looking for relationships and you're unsure about what to do, then please keep watching this show because we are going to be covering everything for everybody. Okay, so where do we go with this one now? Wow, I'm going to play a track. It's been a while since I've been doing some DJ stuff or doing a radio set, so bear with me. First show, we're going to get in there. But I'm going to play a track. Now, if you know me, this is one of my tracks that I absolutely love because when I first thought about doing a relationship show or doing anything coaching around relationships, I believe this song was blessed or given to me from God, blessed to me, should I say, from God, where I loved it. It fitted everything that I wanted to incorporate for the relationship stuff, and this is what it was. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the one they call, it's an old school but I still love it, the one they call Show Baraka.
Yeah, girl, you so special. You make a
I'll be back right after this.
What you mean I can't say? This is a little love song for all my gentlemen, classy ladies. If you a player out there, sit your tail down somewhere and grow up. We could be more, lady, we could be more. We could be more, lady, we could be more. Yeah, you stepped in, God healed my heartache. And this is way past lust, no prom date. And we could be a sweet aroma, Strange. And they can call us Outcast, Andre. Told my boys, yeah, catch me, I'm falling. You on my team even when I ain't calling. You were patient with your boy in the worst case. I was like 9/11, the worst date. You've been running through my mind, first place. Those other girls stay weak like Thursday. This is gentlemen's music, boys to men. I'm done with that players life, born again. We'll be joined in body and soul, heart and mind, money and time. If she's chocolate or vanilla or your butterscotch cream, she the only one for you, she should make you want to sing. See, girl, you know I love you so much. You know I love you so much. This is more than love. You will never See, girl, I know we just friends. We can be more, lady, we can be more. We can be more, lady, we can be more. You got me feeling like a sixth grader, that's for sure. Do you wanna be my wife? Check yes or no. It's hard to stay pure in this dirty world. Everybody wants them a little dirty girl. They can salt the pigs for a quick referral. They looking for the shells when they have a pearl. You could be Coretta, I could be your king. We could get together, we can have a dream. I could be the Rev, you could be Justine. We could walk this way or we could run as a team. And you ain't got a one day in your mind. God's on our side, I see the ribbon in the sky. Now tell them jokers bye-bye. You found real love, Mary J. Blige. If you know love is more than a ring, grab your lady by the hand, this will make you want to sing. See, girl, you know I love you so much. You know I love you so much. This is more than love. This is more than love. You and I could be us. See, girl, I know we just friends. We can be more, lady, we can be more. We can be more, lady, we can be more. A lifelong fight, that's what marriage is. Make love, not war, like a terrorist. My Playboy past is so embarrassing, but your love got me going crazy, call a therapist. Yeah, girl, you know it's a problem when you got me feeling line from the song Solomon. Yeah, you got a classy appeal, but you're also so fine, I just gotta keep it real. I know beauty is alive, peacocks may try, they don't know you fly. Yeah, now go ahead and touch the sky and bring my heart back when it's time to swing by. Yeah, clap, you make a brother wanna sing. Step, you make a brother wanna sing. We can be more, lady, we can be more. We can be more, lady, we can be more. Yeah, now look that lady in the eye. Yeah, now look that lady in the eye. Tell her we can be more, lady, we can be more. We can be more, lady, we can be more.
Yes, Show Baraka, we can be more. And basically what he's saying is, if we are single, then we can be more. In other words, they're trying to get us get married. I should have played Jagged Edge, but we're a Christian show, so chill, that's fine. If there's any Christian Jagged Edge music out there, please give me a holla. Right then, so just before the track, I kind of mentioned that we're going to get into a bit of a topic, really. Something that I mentioned the last time I came on Roger's show when we talked about relationships, and it is emotional affair or emotional infidelity. Now, for those of you that don't know what emotional infidelity is or emotional cheating, the definition of emotional cheating is a type of infidelity where one partner shares more emotional intimacy and connection with someone who isn't their partner. Okay, so let me put it in a nutshell. If you're spending more time speaking to somebody else, so if you're in a relationship, if you're married, and let's say the wife is talking to another guy more often than they are talking to their own partner, and I don't just mean like, hey, how you doing, and just talking to a bedroom the way you are. I'm talking more if you're talking on a daily basis, but knowing that this person has feelings for you, and in an emotional one, from romantic to feelings of wanting to be in a relationship but knowing they can't because you're already in one or they're in one, then that kind of contributes towards emotional cheating. Now, you might be like, can't just two people be friends and have that emotional affection? Yes, but there's a bit of areas where it's, I was going to say it's grey, but it's not. It's red. It's as red as this microphone stand in front of me, if you can see. So emotional cheating, let me break it down again a little bit more just in case you're not following me. So if, like I said before, if you're talking to somebody and you know that they've got feelings for you, or let's put it this way then, if you've had a history with them, okay, so if they're an ex and you don't have children together, you don't have any financial commitments with that person, you don't even share a dog or a goldfish, but you're still talking on such a regular basis and kind of sharing intimate stuff that you don't share with your partner who you're living with and you're you know, in a relationship with, then you want to start researching, is this something where I am cheating on my partner? Another one that you should think about is if your gut's telling you something's not quite right here, then potentially I would say that that would contribute towards emotional cheating. Okay, again, some people out there and they might disagree with it, and there's some people out there that might totally agree with it and say, I hear what you're saying, but no, emotional cheating is a big thing. It's a taboo to some people and they think it's nothing of it. one thing that I talk about with couples and people when I talk about emotional cheating or infidelity is in most affairs or most infidelity situations where the partner has run off with somebody else, it often to always starts at emotional levels. So that's when someone's talking so much and they feel that they have a deeper connection with this person more than their actual partner. They seem to get them more, they seem to be getting into things more. Good news comes to them, the first person they want to speak to is that person. Or it's not even just on the conversation base. So if you're going out and you're having meals with this person, or you're sharing a hotel room with this person, or you're kind of sneaking away and you're not telling your partner of the things that you're doing, then I would definitely say that kind of falls onto infidelity or emotional cheating. There's ways that you can find out. So there's different quizzes that you can do online where you can actually input, am I cheating? And it would ask you a range of different questions. I've tried them all out. I've tried about 5 to 6 of them, and I've put them on my Instagram, which is a Brava. And on there, you can type in or look on there and say, am I cheating? Am I having an affair with somebody? And it will show you, well, it will go for a range of different questions that you can be asked. And on the end of that one, it will give you a score of where they believe you are with stuff like that. So check it out, guys. When we in the next coming up to the next couple of podcasts that we're going to be doing, we all got a panel of guys who they've been given a scenario which I'm looking forward to, and one of the questions on there is going to be emotional cheating, and the conversations prior to that one have been absolutely I shouldn't say it's hilarious, because for some people it's a real situation, but if you haven't been in that situation, then you just kind of shout out and say, nah man, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, or you say a lot of stuff until you're in that situation, that scenario, which is why I'm laughing. But for some people it's a real thing. Some people are scared to go and talk to their partner about it and say, I'm concerned about the relationship you've got with this person. Believe it or not, Alicia Keys did a track about it and we all danced to it, but no one really asked the question what she was talking about, which is when she said, I am jealous of your girlfriend. There was more to it. Check it out, read about it. The person who wrote about it did mention some stuff in there that inspired them around the emotional infidelity part of the relationship. And so that's where it's gone to. I don't know, check that one out, guys. All right, I'm gonna go to another track, and then I've got some more stuff to be talking about on the world of relationship stuff. So keep it locked right here. Now, this is again one of my favorite tracks, actually. I Surrender, or Old School, I know.
What would happen if you pause on all the action? Quit the stress and need no caption. Give your Instagram vacation. Yeah, work on your patience. Yeah, but you ain't facing. Yeah, yeah. Cause I love some music, but I just went through it. So I took a little break on the west side. Now I'm waking up late on my best side. And it's okay for you. Take a day or two. Get your mind together. Sing it with me. Say all to Jesus I surrender. All to thee I freely give. I will ever love and trust him in his presence daily. ways. So let me get out the way, cause you gon' elicit the praise out of the mouth of the babes, and I just be stuck in the daze. And you tell me that it's not about the way I sing, then you question me for why I'm even questioning. Cause I know it ain't the power or the might, but the spirit. The soul is gonna know the truth every time I hear it. And I can't commit my own name, cause that's an interference. It'll take it from a home game to trying to selling tickets. And if ain't nobody showing up, it's really what you're fearing, and your heart is in the wrong place. Who is it you're hearing? Say all to Jesus, I surrender all to thee. I freely give. I will ever love and trust him in his presence daily live. I surrender all. I surrender.
That is V Rose, I Surrender All. I'm going to keep telling you guys the tracks because I know you want to play this in your playlist.
To thee, my
I play this sometimes when I'm in the gym. True story. Not the best track to be dancing to when you're on the treadmill still. I'm going to lie, because you want to go left and right and treadmill straight. I've done it once, and let's just say I almost had my lips in my shoelaces. Not the best thing to do. Anyway, welcome back to The Drive. It's still me, Jermaine, aka Blue. And if you want to know why I'm called Blue, it stands for blessed, loved, and understood. It doesn't stand for trying to be like Jay-Z's child. I don't know why I said that. It's just the first blues. I've got the blues or the nerves are coming back. Also in the studio, it is hot. Yes, man. I feel like I am in all sorts of the Caribbean weather, which is great until I get out the studio and then I'm cold. But quick mention to our sponsor, which is Sports for Kids, a great organization that supports young children in their development in schools, outside of schools, in mentoring programs. They have clothing ranges, which is one I'm wearing right now, this hoodie. But we're going to get them on one of the shows that we're doing, and we're going to talk more. If you've just locked in, which you should have heard from before, we're still talking about emotional cheating and how that impacts people, and where to go with this one. So one of the things that we just talked about mentioning, what we talked about before, was emotional cheating, and that's talking mainly to the person who may be the person doing the cheating. So if you're the one that's consistently talking to people, that person, and doing all stuff, then you might not be aware that what you're doing is cheating. I know some people say that I'm not cheating because I'm hanging out with a friend who just happens to be a guy or happens to be a girl and they get me. And there's no one saying it's wrong to have a relationship with the opposite sex. The danger is when you're having a relationship with the opposite sex who's not your partner, and there's a lot there. So you might be into them more than you realize. The danger of that one is it's the values of your relationship. So how much do you value the person you're with? As my mum used to say to me, is you can't have a knuckle in a cookie jar. Basically meaning you either have your hand or you hold the cookie, but you can't have both. So if you're in a relationship and you're not getting everything from that one person, and you feel you're going to get it from the other person who you're talking to, and you're in danger of obviously messing up your relationship, then these are things we need to be looking at, really. And again, we're going to be covering that again on our podcast show when we have the panel. But there are things out there that I want to address as well, actually. So signs of emotional cheating, and this one, we're talking to the person who, the partner, okay? So if you're the partner and you're thinking to yourself, I don't know, I feel like they're cheating, or I feel like they're spending too much time with that person, but I can't get into it because that's just their bedroom, then here's a few tips that I think should be able to help you to identify. First of all, in any situation in a relationship, challenging, you have to be very careful, because obviously when you're challenging somebody, naturally people are gonna have their backs up, and that can cause all kinds of arguments and issues. So what you want to be doing is obviously letting that person aware that we need to have a conversation and discuss something that you're concerned about, and that could be how much time that person's spending on the phone with that person, or how often they're spending that time with that person. And if you're feeling isolated, if you're in a relationship and it's a trustworthy relationship, you should be all right to be having these conversations and saying these things. So if you're not too sure, or you're a bit concerned about their time together, then yeah, definitely say to them, listen, I'm concerned, and this is my worry. Another thing is, don't just go in there and say you're cheating, because anybody who feels that they're not will have their back up and they will have to defend themselves naturally. So you want to educate them. So you could even say to them, listen, I've been concerned about how often you're spending time with this person. I've been researching and reading about something called emotional affairs. Maybe you should have a look at it and see what you think. Okay. The problem with one of those things as well is it comes down to belief system. So if that person wholeheartedly believes that they're doing nothing wrong, then they're not going to see what you see. So if they in their heart says, I'm not cheating, I'm just chilling out with a friend, then you got to be careful of that one. And it's also about the content of what that person is talking about. So if these two are talking and the content is a little bit too spicy, so for example, if she is saying things to him like, if you were my man, then we would have done this. Or if he's saying to her, remember that time when we did A, B, and C, then definitely there's no question about it. That is definitely emotional cheating, and those things that you need to be discussing, because that is totally going to be causing problems. Again, there's so much things you can do to get help and support out there, which we will be touching on in a moment. But again, so let me go through another one that you can be looking at. So if they're spending too much time and they're keeping secrets from you, so how do you have to keep in secrets? If you're asking who they're talking to and they say somebody else's name, so if he's talking to this lady and you ask him and he says, I'm just talking to one of the fellas about a football match, and he hasn't been, yeah, don't need to go more on that one. If he's gone out, you know, even that What's Her Name song, it's not right, but it's okay. What's her name again? Calling if you remember her name, actually. I can't remember. Whitney Houston. How could I forget, man? But that whole it's not right, but it's okay kind of things. Yeah, don't need to say no more on that one. So yeah, there's so many things that we can talk on there to go into. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm reading my notes. So this is why men cannot multitask. If they're not expressing what you need to be doing as well as a couple, sorry, I've just jumped off where I was going, but I'm back on my notes now. If they're not doing what you guys need to be doing, so for instance, if you guys are not spending time building your relationship in terms of understanding your love languages, understanding each other's needs, how often are you guys spending time together collectively? Now, there's a lot of couples I've spoken to and they've said, we want to do these things, but the children, we don't have babysitters and this, that, and the other. Send your child to bed earlier, whatever they do. So if your child goes to bed at 8 o'clock, then give yourself 45 minutes, an hour time to kind of do something together. It doesn't need to be War and Peace. You can read a book together. You can watch a TV series together. You can play a board game. Do something that's going to generate conversations with each other. There's flashcards that you can download nowadays now that we've got also on as a resource that we do, where you can obviously just download them, pick up a flashcard, face down, and ask each other a question. So it could be, in 2001, tell me something that you wanted to do that you've not been able to do now. It's a conversation jerker. There's so much content out there. You know, you can even play arm wrestling. It sounds weird and stuff like that, but there's so many things you can do together to kind of make your relationship work. So these are things you got to be thinking about and looking at, all right? So gotta go to another track and then we're coming back. But this one, Andy, I love this one, you know, Andy Mania. What?
Can't stop, won't stop. Where the brakes at? I give him that diddy bop. Like take that, take that, take that, take that. I'ma put in work. I'ma do that ASAP. Throw my faith in rap. But they say don't say that, huh? What I'ma turn down for? I feel like Shaq in 9-4. Breaking glass in that backboard. I like Kobe in Toronto, huh? Dropping 81. Yo, I dropped the 88. Ricky Bobby, shake and bake. Sleeping on it, should've stayed awake, huh? Everybody make mistakes like VJs. Tryna say my name is Minio. Stay with me, Minio. Okay, great. 2 forks high, raise the stakes. Risk it all, I take the hate. This the winning team. Get the Gatorade. My guy good, but he's not safe, nah. They try to shut us down and it ain't gon' slide. Only thing I fear is God and he on my side. That's the confidence I got, cause he got me. That's why I really feel like you can't stop me. That's all you got. Come big, but mommy, you're blown it. You don't see when I'm growing. You don't see where I'm going. You only see in the moment. You know I'm on stage. You never let go it. Don't cease to amaze me, and it drive me crazy. That you catch every detail that I miss in the songs I'm making. Saying you will never write a verse like Kendrick, never be the rapper I got from Hendrix. Top 10 alive, you will never be mentioned. Why aim so high? Won't survive the trenches. Plus, you a Christian, Andy. They will never listen, Andy. Plus, we a pigment, Andy. You don't got skill, you a gimmick, Andy. Well, if I listen to you and everything you put in my ear, I be living like woulda, shoulda, coulda. I be paralyzed by fear. Ain't that the truth? If I quit, the only way I lose. I got two choices when I do this: make moves or make excuses. If you know who I'm talking about, then you got me. My biggest enemy is me, and even I can't stop me. They try to shut us down and it ain't gon' slide. Only thing I fear is God and he on my side. That's the confidence I got, cause he got me. That's why I really feel like you can't stop me. That's all you got. Come on with it. That's all you got. You can't stop me. You don't got the power. Shut me down. That's not enough. I'm my biggest problem. You don't got the power. Shut me down. That's not enough. You can't stop me. If I cannot stop me, then you'll never stop me. Oh no, can't stop. Oh no, won't stop. I said if I cannot stop me, then you'll never stop me. Oh no, can't stop. Oh no, won't stop. I said if I cannot stop me, then you'll never stop me. Oh no, can't stop. Oh no, won't stop. I said if I cannot stop me, then you'll never stop me. Oh no, you can't stop me. That's all you got. Come on with it. That's all you got. You can't stop me. You don't got the power. Shut me down. That's not enough. I'm my biggest problem. You don't got the power. Shut me down. That's not enough. You can't stop me.
That was Andy Mineo, You Can't Stop Me. That's right. So if you're going to your partner and you're asking a question, they can't stop you. I'm only joking. I'm not here to cause any problems. Trust me, true story. But yes, so before I go any further, this is random, and you're going to learn about me on these shows, guys. I am random Jack sometimes. Sometimes I just do something where you're like, why has he done that? I don't understand why. But you know what? It's the comedy or comedian in me. Sometimes I think I'm funnier than I am. If you don't like it, well then, that's not my problem. But there's this track that just keeps doing my treeing that I keep playing, but I feel like it describes me well. I don't know if you guys have heard this track before, but I want to play this one quickly. You ready? And I know the guys are going to cuss me for this one, but it goes a bit like this. You ready? 3. If someone is in your business, then you need to tell them this one. You ready? Are you ready for it?
I go drink water and mind my business.
Yep.
Mind my business. Drink water and mind my business. I go drink water and mind my business. Mind my business. Drink water and mind my business.
No more of that one now. Drink water and mind your business. I'm not trying to big up that one, but that's very important, guys. And that's what you should say to someone who's all up in your relationship. I'm joking again. Jeez, stop it now, Jermaine. No, okay, cool. So the reason I did that one is because it had me thinking actually about relationship stuff and the emotional impact on how people are, with cheating. So no one cheats just for the sake of it, or not all people cheat just for the sake of it. I know it sounds a bit harsh to hear, or some people might not agree, but there's usually, as the saying goes, there's no smoke without fire. So one thing that you have to remember is if someone feels that they're getting something from somebody else, there's usually a reason behind it, okay? So if this person or your partner is talking to somebody on a more regular basis than yourself, and they're sharing stuff like this, it's a bad thing, but it's something for you to look at and learn from, okay? So the question you want to be asking is, what are you getting from this person that you can't get from our relationship? Now, sometimes it's just obvious. There's certain things, characteristic wise, that person's character is different to yours, and so they might just enjoy that person's vibe, they might just enjoy that person's company, which is cool if it's not going to jeopardize or have an impact on your relationship. If it does, then it's a great conversation where you and your partner should be sitting down and talking and really kind of breaking down the bits of it. So what is it you're getting from that person, okay? But be careful of what kind of questions you're asking, because sometimes closed questions will give you closed answers and it doesn't give you clarity on where you need to go with your relationship. Also, be careful of making decisions in the moment. So it's not uncommon for some people to be upset and then say, you know what, it's over, we're going to break up, because sometimes you just want to out, but it doesn't break the hurt and it doesn't break the situation. It just makes it even worse. So there's got to be conversations that you need to have. If you can't have it together, there's loads of services out there. There's coaching services like ourselves. There's a service out there called Relate. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but they offer a coaching service or a counseling service where you can have a discussion. There's loads of resources out there where you can write in there, yourself and your partner can write. But one thing I'm definitely going to say is you have to commit the time, okay? So if you've got time to sit down and watch soaps, Netflix, if you've got time to go and scroll through the internet, if you've got time on to scroll through social media, then you have time to sit down and look together and have these conversations. They will be uncomfortable, but they're uncomfortable because you haven't done them before, or you haven't talked in that depth. If that's the case, and that's even great, because it means that it gives you guys something to really impact your relationship and do. So switch the telly off, switch off your phones, put the phones away, put the children to bed, get out some juice. Don't go drinking alcohol because that can impact your thinking, and have an in-depth conversation. There are pointed questions that you can ask. So you can ask things like, what is it that you get from this relationship that our relationship doesn't offer? You've also got to remember though that sometimes the answer you might find the answer a little bit hard to hear. But sometimes if that's their truth, that's their truth. So actually, if they say they speak to me without any judgment, then it may mean that you need to kind of look at how you talk in your relationship, or it might mean something. It might mean that they need to look at how they listen to you in their relationship. That makes sense? Let's try and say it again. If your relationship, so if he's saying, I feel you judge me when you're talking, then the conversation needs to be is you need to look at how you're communicating to your partner, but he needs to also look at how he's receiving information. Because if he's hearing it too often, or she's hearing it too often, then they just assume that it's a judgment conversation, and so they make a decision before they open their mouths. Another thing you need to be looking at is the time, okay? So what activity do you guys do together, okay? So I say this a lot to families that have young children, and the reason I say that is because a lot of women, when they have young children, they're in mommy mode. And mommy mode's a real thing. That's what we can discuss on one of the shows coming up, guys. But mommy mode's a real thing where your attention, your time, your focus is into nurturing and developing your children. And then you kind of lose yourself as a mother, and your identity kind of goes, because all you're doing is working, looking after your children, looking after the household, feeding everybody. Occasionally you're thinking, oh, we've still got to be intimate with my husband. And so you kind of lose yourself, and then you think to yourself, well, what do you want? So mommy mode's a real thing, and we'll be discussing that on some of these future shows. But you've got to look at how you're looking after yourself, okay? Because looking after yourself also looks after the relationship and stuff like that. But you also have to, there's so many variations. If it's a controlling relationship, again, we're going to be discussing stuff like that as well. This is what's so beautiful about the Drive Show, is there's so many things that we're going to have to discuss and look at. We cannot do it in one show, you know? But this is just our first one. This is just me introducing myself and kind of giving you guys a little bit of the flavor of the things we're going to be discussing. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be raw, because I don't feel like we're going to get anywhere on surface conversation. So we're going in. One of the shows that I'm looking forward to discussing is porn and church. You heard me. I said porn and church. And the reason I'm going to say this is because it happens more than you realize, and there's a lack of support for it. Again, in church, we have very much taboo conversations. So you would almost assume that when you're a Christian, you don't have sex, because it's never really discussed, not in most churches anyway. So we're going to be discussing it. We've got a minister, we've got a sexual health expert who's going to be coming in, and we're going to be covering topics about porn, masturbation. We're going to be talking about all these kind of things, because at the moment there's a massive generation of women I gotta say, because it's more women than men, are looking into sex toys. The conversation that used to be taboo is kind of like out there now, like, yeah. So we're definitely going to be discussing that one. Even the whole sex before marriage, is that still relevant? Where do you sit on that one? And conversations around that one. Also, I'm looking forward to one of the shows we're going to be doing is having that conversation as well with your children. Out of interest, discussion I had with some friends before, we were saying, are parents to blame for their children exploring sexual things early? Whatever early is, because how often are parents having that conversation about the birds and the bees? Actually, I'm going to ask you the question and you can answer yourself. Have you ever had the conversation about the birds and the bees? Exactly. As quiet as I'm saying. Yes, so we're going to be having that conversation there. And we're also going to be having a young panel here as well where we can discuss all these things. But guys, my time has come. I hope you've enjoyed the first show. This is the first of many. I promise you there's so much more content to come. We're going to be going in depth. Please look on our Instagram page, which is a Brava. You can see that on Facebook, Instagram. We don't do Snapchat because we don't snap. But you can definitely find us on YouTube, which is where you're going to be finding this one. So subscribe, join us, and enjoy the journey, guys. We're looking forward to it. Thank you for listening. And signing off, I am Jermaine. Blue, bless you and see you soon. Also, last thing I want to say is big up to our sponsor, Sports for Kids. Look out for their clothing because they will be helping us with some more stuff soon. All right, I'm definitely gone now. Peace.
And thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, you like, and you comment, and make sure that you're sharing the videos and watching so much more. We have loads of content for you. I hope you enjoy. See you soon.